Peace, 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 peace and blessings. Samurai in the building. I see you, bro. Peace, soul power, peace and blessings. Asiatic soldier, peace and blessings. All right, all right, all right. What's good with the fan? What is good with the fan? Man, listen. Let me turn this joint on for a quick second, man. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. What's good, y'all? What's good? What's good? What's good? All right. Uh man, man. We got some stuff to chop it up about tonight, man. Man, we got some stuff to chop it up about. It's a lot going on in the world, y'all. It's a lot going on in the world. Um, and it ain't all good, man. It ain't all good. Um, this is literally something of a trumpet call, man. Um, I think it's about that time. Shout out to Soul Power. Shout out to Samurai. I was able to catch that live in retro. Um, I wasn't able to actually get on that day, but um what I heard in retro, man, especially in regards to, man, you brothers, basically keeping things tight, and staying ready, right? Having the necessary tools in place, right? I salute y'all for that. I salute y'all for that. All right, all right, all right. I see my brother iRock in the building. Peace, peace, peace. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, um, I sent out a message earlier, a text, man, to some of y'all, man. Some of y'all may be familiar about the incident or whatever the case may be. But Asiatic say he's in Houston now, about to pick up a load and then head to VA. That's what's up, baby. That's what's up. My brothers be all across the country. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So my situation is this, y'all. I recently had a neighbor do some real fuck shit. And y'all gotta excuse the language, but we gonna call it what it is, right? And the fact that they did that, right, led me to kind of question where their head was at. And I'm gonna get into all of that. I'm gonna tell y'all exactly what transpired and how it transpired. But before I get into that, I want to say, man, that me personally, right, I don't appear on these lives and all of that as often as I used to, right? And I have a particular purpose and reason for that. Um, we're gonna be changing some stuff up, right? We're gonna keep the dog channel and all of that. But I think it's high time we start discussing some real true to life issues that affects our community in a very serious and impactful way, right? So to that extent, I'm going to be creating a new channel. We're going to be establishing a new channel. We're going to call that channel Keep the Heat Media, right? KTH Media, Keep the Heat Media. And I'm taking all y'all with me. You know what I mean? Y'all know who y'all are. I'm taking everybody with me. On that particular channel, we may get into dogs and whatnot, but we're going to also talk about some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about tonight, right? We're going to be addressing some issues that are seriously impacting our ability as a people to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? To enjoy those so-called inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, before I go any further, I want to say that this dog thing is for everybody. Keep the Heat Media is going to be predominantly addressed to the Black community and those other communities, quote unquote, of color that find themselves concerned about similar issues, right? I'm not a racist, right? I do not blanketly, paint all people with with one paintbrush, right? That's just not my thing. I've experienced too much of life and human beings to be able to just say that, all of these people are bad, all of these people are bad. That's not how I operate. However, I am a realist, very pragmatic with certain things. And when it comes to the well-being of a people, right, I have to look at track records. I have to look at what we've what we've been dealing with, right? And not for nothing, what we've been dealing with, y'all, is something a little bit different now, right? So Power said you can't be racist. We don't have a system of injustice to practice racism. We don't have a system, period. And that's one of the things I want to address and keep the Heat Media. So you absolutely right, bro. You know what I mean? We do have some pressing issues, y'all. We got some pressing issues. And when I tell you they're at your doorstep, they're at your doorstep. You understand? In a recent video I found on MSNBC. Let's see if I can't get this thing up here for y'all. All right, there we go. All right, can y'all see that? Can y'all see that? And honestly, I'm not 100% that that's even the joint I'm even talking about, but this is part of the problem. This is part of the problem right here. Right? This is part of the problem right here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all could run up them likes, but I'll be honest. I sent out invitations to specific people, man. I really didn't intend this to be a whole thing for everybody. You understand? Now what I will do is I will put the link in the chat, so anybody that want to hop on and have this discussion, we'll definitely do that. But so what you see on the screen is a rally about so-called right-wing extremist groups meeting down in Florida. Now I don't give a damn about them meeting. They've been doing that forever. KKK, the whole crew, right? Like none of that bothers me. What does bother me is that they've gone to the point where they're now carrying out their beliefs, right? They're now carrying out their beliefs. So in a very recent event, well, and when I say recent event, I'm talking recent history, like 2022, right? I believe it was 2022. Uh, there was a shooting in Buffalo, right? A lone gunman walked into I believe a Buffalo Walmart or something, and just started shooting people. Just so happens that everybody he shot was black, I believe, and he was there to shoot black people specifically. He was part of a group that participated in that whole Capitol Donald Trump, fiasco and all of that, right? So now, my problem is that the dude came from Texas to Buffalo, New York, just to carry out this act. He was found to be wearing a patch, and the patch had the initials RWDS, which stands for Right Wing Death Squad. Right Wing Death Squad. So, what I'm saying to y'all is that we have some issues, right? We have some issues. Um, all right. Soul Power says, I don't believe he was quote unquote a lone wolf. He is not, bro. There's several of them that run around wearing that same patch, right? And in an MSNBC video on YouTube with the chick Rachel Maddow, right? She talks about how he was connected to a group that did the same thing in a Jewish synagogue. Like all of this stuff seems to be coming out of Texas, right? And not only that, you got a situation where law enforcement officers are being recorded. There's another YouTube video with law enforcement officers who got caught out there, literally saying they waiting for the race war. They're going to be the first ones down front killing black folks. This is law enforcement. Dude that shot the people in Buffalo, right? That shot up our people in Buffalo, literally came from Texas, right? And so we gonna chop it here. So he came from Texas, and a lot of this activity is coming out of Texas. It just so happens that Donald Trump is launched his campaign or whatever is for re-election from Waco, Texas. We all remember what happened in Waco. If you don't, just kind of do the history. But he's not a lone wolf. He's working with an organized group who has a dedicated faction of followers who are committing mass murder. That's a problem. right? Especially when it's indiscriminate. Like they looking for anything with a black face on it, right? They don't care if you blood, Crip, Christian, Muslim. They don't care what your, you know what I mean? Like it does not matter. And these people are supposed to be Christians, right? Now let's talk about why this is supposedly happening. What is now this dude belongs to a particular group, yo, right? He belongs to a particular group, and this group has their faction, that right-wing death squad, right? So now they believe in something called the grand replacement theory, right? And the grand replacement theory, right, is basically something that came out of Europe. It started in France because of the heavy immigration population there, because of the migrants going coming from North Africa and going into France. Now, keep in mind, France has used North Africa and parts of West Africa as colonies for a very long time, right? Even neo-colonialism, right? A lot of that was still is still under the French economy. So these people are migrating, and they're going into France, you know, to their mother country, right? And a movement arose where people are getting a little worried, huh? They getting a little worried about the fact that there's so many immigrants now, right? So now the European French are now worried about the French immigrants coming from North Africa and all of this. And they're saying that, oh, there's so many of them, they are replacing us. If we allow this to continue, they're going to replace us. So our society, our culture, our way of life is in jeopardy. That's what they're saying. That's what they believe. So now that idea, right, has caught on here in America. And that's what a lot of your Trump supporters are into, right? In addition to this, there are literally politicians, right? Politicians who are advocating the type of, let's just say they're supportive of these groups, right? They're kind of, they're kind of, let's just say they're facilitating the rhetoric, right? So what I'm saying to y'all is this. What I'm saying is that you have lawmakers, right? You have lawmakers, you have law enforcement, and then you have that average dude out there. And they are all of the mind that your ass needs to go. Now, we know when you're born black in America, right, you're never quite at home, right? You always go places and you never quite feel like, hey, I belong here, right? Or I'm accepted and welcome here, right? So we live with that our whole lives as black folks coming up in this country. We live with that. It's nothing new that people really didn't want us here, right? That's nothing new. Been dealing with that since time immemorial, right? But when you tell me, right, that there are lawmakers, law enforcement officials who are supporting the radical acts of ordinary citizens, then I have to say that there is a system in place which is problematic, and it's time for us to put a system in place in response to this problem. Now, there's a lot of shows out here, right, talking about culture and whether we should be Israelites or Egyptians or whatever. I'm not discussing none of that, because when that dude walked into that Walmart and started shooting at black faces, he did not stop to ask religion, affiliations, gang, what sect you claim. He didn't stop to ask none of that. So I'm not addressing none of that, right? What we're going to be addressing, right, is putting a viable system in place. We are going to be discussing solutions. In addition to that, I'm going to be keeping a close watch on the enemy, on the adversary, and his every move, every politician that's involved, every law enforcement official that's involved. We taking names, we taking backgrounds, we're going to put them on blast, and we're going to be taking note. All right? Now, that's enough out of me for the moment. Let me free up these mics, man. So you can unmute yourself. Dav, you unmuted, bro. What's good? What's good? Welcome, beloved.
Peace, peace,
Oh,
peace and
peace,
blessings.
peace.
Peace and blessings.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
So,
I as y'all can tell, I'm a little put out by this, right?
Understood.
I'm a type motherfucker that I believe in. Go about your business. Let me go about my business. We ain't gotta like each other, right? We ain't gotta. I'm not real big about being able to sit on the same toilet you sit on, right? That's not that don't thrill me, right? I'm perfectly happy in my own lane. But when you start, understand this. The dude came from Texas to New York.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say that was coordinated, I'm gonna put your comment up here, because I really want you to go a little bit further into that. You said these racists have sleeper cells and work alongside law enforcement. Tell us something about that, Brethren.
well, I mean, all we got to do is look at history, and it always gives us the examples. So, in the past, let's use Tulsa, Oklahoma, for example. Um, During that massacre, we was doing our thing prior to the locals getting in contact with local law enforcement and ultimately the National Guard, and also blocking off all train routes to where other black nearby areas could come in and offer reinforcement, ultimately locking us out and using, the system of injustice to ultimately, cause the massacre ahead. Anytime you look in the past where black people have started to get their things together, there's always been an interference by these white supremacists, excuse me, these white inferiority, these inferior white people. Anytime we start to, I mean, you look at during Reconstruction, what happened after Reconstruction, we go straight into Jim Crow. You know what I mean? So anytime black people start to get themselves together, the influx of violence and new systems in place come in to attack the black family in a new way, And right now, the big play right now is we fighting for a reparation. And one thing is that when laws pass, California is always the starting ground. And where's the biggest push for reparations? It's in California right now. San Francisco, they talking about giving every black resident a foundational black American residence. You know what I mean? If you can trace your ancestry here to slavery, they talking about, I believe it's a $2 million payment. So it's white flight, it's white fear that's going on. Anytime they see us, the potential of us tapping into the greatness of, our God force, that's a problem. And that's always been their push for keeping their foot on our neck. And for the people who don't know what it's called, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson coined this term. It's called the white genetic inferiority. Look it up. It's in her book, her great life's work, the ISIS Papers. It's 1,000,001 interviews of her speaking on it. But this is what it is. They believe that we'll wipe them out genetically. We don't even need a gun. And that's been the biggest issue.
Now, let me jump in here for a minute because I definitely I want to be clear about something. You know, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, like, literally sacrificed her professional career and personal health, advancing her theories and you know, just kind of making people aware of this underlying current. Problem with this is that it doesn't matter, right, whether or not you and me believe it. What matters is that there is a group of people who actually do believe it and are acting on it, right? So that's where we at with it. And I just throw that out there because I know a lot of people like to debate theories and all of that other stuff. And again, I'm not here to debate nothing, right?
Right.
I'm here to say, listen, okay, we got that part. Now we at the point where these motherfuckers is trying to twist caps.
Absolutely.
You understand? Now this is you know, the legal lynchings from the police and all of that.
Absolutely.
That was one thing. But when you start talking about average Joe is just gonna come out the woodwork and start firing off his shit.
Our army of George Zimmerman.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you really think about it, it goes back a lot further than that. So, Brother Ray, a couple days ago, you and I was politicking and building and basically talking about how stuff was going on in like the 50s and 60s on up to today, right? So look at it like this. Okay, and I know using movie quotes is kind of cliche, but this one kind of fits the mood of the conversation. If anybody remembers a scene in Boys in the Hood when Lawrence Fishburne was sitting there with Cuba Gooding Jr. and his friend, and they were sitting there on that corner in front of that billboard, he asked them, why is there a liquor store and a gun store on every neighborhood in the black community? And everybody got dead quiet. And he looked at him and said, because they want us to kill ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, and to go even further, it's like he said, you know, we don't own no boats. We don't own no poppy fields. We don't own no gun factories. All that shit was getting flown in and dropped in the hood. That's number one. Number two, if we look back to the beginning of the whole quote unquote BLM movement, right? You got Antifa and then you got BLM, right? But what most people fail to realize and what most people didn't even pay attention to is there was one man controlling that whole thing.
Absolutely. White
George
man was funding
Soros.
all of that. Come on.
George Soros controlled all of them. If you look back and you look up who owns the trademark and who founded and who's behind BLM and Antifa, is George Soros. He ran all of it. Another thing too, if you go back and look at some of the earliest riots that popped off, name me one city, especially major city, that you will see pallets, unused pallets of cinder blocks and bricks just sitting dead in the middle of the street. And you got people walking, and you got people who were quote unquote with the Antifa crew who were sitting there in bandanas and face masks and sunglasses that wear the same type of earpieces that private security and the Secret Service wear.
Oh, come on.
You know what I'm saying? Now, hold up. Got another one for you. Okay, now you had spoke about Brother Ray, you spoke about the young man who had killed all our people up in Buffalo, right?
Give me 1 second.
Go
I
ahead.
need to define Antifa for us.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I will look up the actual definition because that I do not have on hand. So give me 1 second. Let me get that for you.
All right. And I do this only because I want people to be aware of exactly who is involved, right? I want going forward, we're gonna be keeping the names of every organization, every politician, every law enforcement officer
Okay.
that's accused of any of this, like any of this stuff going on. I got a number for them. I'm sorry, go ahead, beloved.
Oh no, you good. You good. Give me 1 second. I was just trying to get a actual. Oh, here, that's right here. So, um,
Antifa's an acronym,
yeah,
correct?
yes, it
Acronym.
is. Yes, it
Yeah.
is. Antifa is
What
an
does it
acronym.
stand for?
As a matter of fact, so okay, so the dictionary version in Merriam-Webster stands for. It says a person or a group actively opposing fascism.
Yes. Anarchist.
Okay, yeah, absolutely, an anti-fascist movement. Now that is according to Merriam-Webster
So
dictionary.
now, if Antifa's supposed to be anti-fascist, that means they would be against these people, these
You would
right-wing
think.
death squads and such.
You
Right.
would think
That,
so.
right. That.
Now, now here's
Well,
where
I guess
this.
Antifa is short for anti-fascist.
Yes. Now,
Okay.
here is where this whole thing about Antifa being against the man, quote unquote, begin kind of begins to be kind of, pardon my language for lack of a better term, bullshit. Okay, because on their Wikipedia it states Antifa is a left-wing, anti-fascist, and anti-racist political movement in the United States. It consists of a highly decentralized array of autonomous groups that use both nonviolent direct action and violence to achieve their aims. Now, okay, why is
Read
that?
that for me one more time, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely. Give me 1 second. Antifa is a left wing, anti fascist, and anti racist political movement in the United States. It consists of a highly decentralized array of autonomous groups that use both nonviolent direct action and violence to achieve their aims.
Brother Ray, you mind if I speak on that?
Go right ahead, please, please.
Well,
Chime
that's
right in.
problematic right there. That's problematic. Anytime something is labeled left wing or right wing, you already know it's part of the system. It's a
100%.
it's a tool.
Good cop,
Okay,
bad cop.
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah.
And then part of that definition says nonviolence, direct action, and violence to achieve goals. I believe that's what you said, brother.
Yes, sir.
Well, in that sense, right there, it should be labeled as a terrorist organization.
Absolutely. That's domestic terrorism.
Absolutely. So why isn't it experiencing the same push that every political party that black people have created is experiencing, unless
Bec-
it's part of the centralized chessboard?
oh,
And
absolutely. It's
I'll concede.
no, I mean, to kind of piggyback on what you said, the reason why is, well, there's actually it's actually a twofold answer. First part is the reason why it's not condemned and not chastised, or should say demonized, the way that the Black Panther movement was, the way that the Black Peace Stones were, and the way that a lot of other organizations were back in the day, is due to the fact that it is a major piece on a chessboard that those in power can move and put in place to do what they
Absolutely.
need to do, and and basically hide their hand. That's the
Agent
first thing.
provocateurs.
Absolutely. That's the first part. Second part, as I stated in the beginning, the man that runs them, he don't look like us. You know, his mother and father don't look like us.
Oh yeah.
You know,
George
so
Soros is a suspected white supremacist.
you know, and that's another thing. Oh, and to briefly touch on something else that brother Ray had said in the beginning of the conversation, said that they basically have been attacking us and doing this for many years. If you go back and look at, let's say, like the Tuskegee experiments and basically things like that, they have been the white America, the powers that be, have been obsessed with the African American and just the concept of melanin
Yes,
from the
sir.
dawn of time. You know,
Absolutely.
And when he spoke about the great replacement theory, let me kind of give you another angle to look at it. Okay, so brother Soul.
Yes, sir.
So as we know it today, society or society or media tries to tell us or tries to push the message that Jews from Jerusalem are quote unquote the chosen people, correct? That's
Yeah,
what the
yeah.
yeah,
Right.
that's what the media
On
pushes.
in the Abrahamic
To be more
faith-based
specific,
system, absolutely.
we talk about the Eastern Europeans that
Right,
Yes,
were
Ashkenazis.
allowed to settle in the
yes,
Palestine area
yes,
in
Yeah,
1948 after World War II.
yes, sir, yes, sir.
Okay.
Now, the reason why I bring that point up is to go and speak on this for you. So now, brother Soul, next question: do you know what country has the highest count of people per capita with skin cancer?
oh, definitely. Uh, it would definitely have to be Israel, and after that, I would probably say
Yep,
China because they bleach in their skin.
yep, Israel, Jerusalem.
Yeah, yeah.
Why now? Why is that?
That's counterintuitive to nature.
Yeah,
If you look,
exactly. Because here's the thing:
yes, sir.
how can you be the chosen people, and how can you be God's chosen people if you can't even step out in the sunlight?
Right.
Now, while all of that is good and valid, I don't want to get away from the
Absolutely.
concept of
No, no,
building a system
right.
and putting solutions in place.
No,
Because
and
see,
and and and, and and
a
that's what I was
lot of
getting
this
at.
is old hat. A lot
No,
of
no,
this
you're right.
we know already, right? A
You're
lot of
absolutely
this,
right.
and bear with me on this because
Oh, my bad. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I'm just saying
Oh, go
that
ahead.
where I come from, right?
Hmm.
Coming up in New York City, you know, you have your white folks, right?
Absolutely.
Um, and you can get along. Is everybody in New York kind of minds their business and just passing one another by,
Don't
right?
mess with me. I ain't gonna mess with you.
Little further upstate or outside of New York City,
Hmm.
upstate New York is predominantly white. We're talking about an 80% type,
Yeah. Syracuse,
scenario
Utica, that whole
living,
area. Yeah.
right? So when you start looking at that scenario,
Hmm.
right, it's not a situation where you hear about Klan rallies and this, that, and the third. You don't get a whole lot of neo-Nazi activity and all of that going on here, right? A lot of these little towns, especially the college towns, are more interracially mixed, right? Like, for example, where I am here, you have a budding Pakistani Muslim community growing, right? You also have a very strong Asian Chinese presence, right? So what they're worried about is actually taking place, right? Gentrification is happening here, just like it happened in New York City and like it's happened in other places. The difference is that gentrification here is more so affecting poor whites as much as people of color, right? So my point is that now you have this neo-Nazi attitude, right? This neo-Nazi activity on our doorstep.
Right.
Let me bring this home for you. The
Absolutely.
guy who shot the people in Buffalo,
Hmm.
he gets locked up on the spot, right? If he lived, I don't even know what happened. I believe he got like 11 life sentences, so he lived.
Yeah.
So he gets locked up, right? But he's in Buffalo, right? So I
Hmm.
believe that's Erie County, right? That's in the western part of New York State. To take you behind the scenes a little bit, everything upstate New York is where all the correctional facilities are,
Right.
right? So downstate is where you're basically getting a lot of the populations that are ending up in upstate prisons.
Right.
These prisons upstate are literally institutions that they are the bedrock of the economy of that particular town,
Absolutely.
right? So this guy,
Absolutely. Of course.
he's going to go to Erie County Jail, right?
Hmm.
And he's going to be protected by white correction officers,
100%.
right? Then he's going to he gets convicted, he goes to what they call Wendy's, right? Because it's right there in that part of state. It's a maximum security joint. Unless they send him to a joint like South Point, some joint like that that's super max, he's gonna end up going to Wendy's, right? And then he ends up in Attica, right? And he'll stay there and be protected by the same racist correction officers that support this shit to begin with.
You're right. No,
Brother,
I
wait.
understand.
What I'm pointing to is that there's a system in place, and he
Yes,
rode
sir.
the wave.
No, you're
Yes, sir.
absolutely
Rode
right.
the wave,
You're
right?
absolutely right.
So now, my question is, what is our solution, and where's
No.
our system?
Okay. Now, before I answer that, to clarify my point from earlier, the reason why I made the statement or made the analogy, made the or presented the question about the Jews and being out in the sun was this. A lot of reason why today the whole concept of the great replacement theory is becoming such an issue and a talking point is because if you look back over the last, let's say 30, 40 years, just to be easy, right? There have been a lot more white women having mixed babies, not necessarily being in interracial relationships, but they've been having mixed babies. Why? Like I said before, white folks can't be in the sun like we do.
Bro,
Whether they're doing it because
get
they
to the
think
solution,
mixed babies is
we
cute,
know all that other stuff.
right?
Let's
Right. No,
get to
but
the
no,
solution.
but that's my point. It's like whether they think white baby, mixed babies is cute, so on and so forth, yada yada yada, whatever. Point fact is, they're not having white babies. So a lot of these, again, you said the neo-Nazis, the people, the white supremacists, so on and so forth, they're like, okay, if they're not reproducing with us, but they're having their offspring, where are we going to be in the next 50 years? And that's why a lot of them are starting to feel like they're being attacked. Now, to go back to, everything being part of the system and what do we do until we as a people, number one, can get together.
Never
And
gonna
That's
happen,
what we're
brother.
doing right now.
You know,
We
that's
get
what I'm saying.
together right
Right,
now.
right. Absolutely. But
We're
what I'm
here
saying is,
to talk
I'm
about
saying,
solutions.
right,
You
but I'm
understand?
saying
That's what we're here for.
but I'm saying we as a people as a whole, until we can get,
That would never happen, brother.
and I agree with you, but that's my point is until we can, the people in power who are in power now will continue to move the pieces on the chessboard as they see fit, and we just gonna have to get in where we fit in.
Bro, that's not a solution.
No.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that's not a solution.
I know it's not.
Listen, they have a system in place. So
Yes.
we need to start thinking systemically. These are solutions.
Absolutely.
You understand? So I don't care what they're doing at this point. It's not that I don't care what they're doing. I'm just at the point where we know a whole lot of that. We know we've been staring it in the face so goddamn long. We regurgitate it in our sleep.
I got a solution.
What's up?
This is something that we have brothers that are in the tech field, things of that nature. So one thing that we need to do is create an app, right? That anytime we in places of uncertainty, we will be able to alert each other where it's danger, true danger. You know what I'm saying? Because we know law enforcement isn't going to come on time and to really cause and have any solutions based. So we need to create an app to where in scenarios, let's say we're in a mall and there's a mass shooting. Now we alerting brothers and sisters, in the local area who we know are part of, local gun clubs and things of that nature, and can come and provide assistance for ourselves.
I like that.
To make sure that we make it home. So we have to create ways for us to police ourselves and make sure that we can get home. And ultimately that's the goal, to get home. So that's one solution. When there is what we deem to be an extremist in our vicinity, we need to be able to notify the family and the brothers and sisters, like I said, who do practice their Second Amendment rights. We can at least provide ourselves with the necessary force in opposition to these terroristic acts that are being placed upon us.
Now,
you
do
know,
you know anybody that has those kind of skills that can put together an app?
Brother
I'm here right
Ira
now.
is a technician.
I'm
Oh,
here right
well,
now.
see, now we talking. Now we cooking. So this is what I'd like to do amongst us, bro. Because it's only three. It's only the three of us on this motherfucker. It looks like. Listen, what does it take to put an app together that's
Well, we
going
got to
to
talk about that
allow? Wait a
offline.
minute. Hold on.
Okay.
I want to explain at least the general idea of what I conceive in this app, and then y'all can fill in the details.
Okay.
But I want this app to be able to give people news, specific news, right, about organizations and individuals in their area, the same way you get those sex offender alerts and
Yeah.
you drop that shit in your mailbox.
Hmm.
I want this app to do the same thing for white supremacist groups, politicians, so people know exactly in their state who's involved, right? So I
Okay.
want that
Absolutely.
information in the app so that people have that to refer to on a daily basis,
Okay.
right? It should
Uh,
also carry all fucking news
yes.
everywhere in the country where there is a
Yes.
police shooting of a black person or white supremacist or some type of white supremacist activity, rally, any of that. It should be in this app.
Now to
Absolutely.
And
give
then
you,
also a list of the black gun clubs and
yeah.
networks of people, that can speak to getting people out of a situation, right?
Right. Okay.
And that I like that. I like that idea. So that a person should be able to get in this app and reach out and get help.
Yeah. Now to give you a brief explanation, kind of, or a brief example of kind of like what you was talking about. On computers right now, there's there's something that's called an RSS feed, right? And essentially, what an RSS, you can set up various different RSS feeds, and what it'll do is automatically pull news from wherever you specify it from. So, like you can, so like right now, I could do up, like I can go ahead and set up an app right now. Or matter of fact, like there's apps that there's because
What
like
do we need to get that process started, bro?
basically I'll just have to decide on a program. I'll just have to decide on a programming language, and then I can start putting it together. And then two, you said in regards to like some kind of like notification or basically some type of messaging function or whatever, I would just have to basically figure out how to, you know, whether I'm doing iOS or Android, and then two, um, if I'm going to do it, if and then basically how to encrypt it, and basically
I would say I
how to
would
set the
say
end-to-end
I would say
encryption.
we want it on Android, but
Okay,
we want it to be compatible with Apple as well.
okay.
I don't know. See, I just hate the fact that Apple charges for this shit. If we can offer this app somehow, free of cost or
You
at
don't
no
have to.
cost,
You don't have to charge for apps. It's basically all up to the developer.
right? So
Yeah.
with something like with Android, which is a little bit more open source, we can, what I mean, we can constantly develop and kind of
Well,
upgrade it, I
s-
guess.
well. See, now here's the thing too, and I'm actually glad that you said what you just said. So the thing is, a lot of people make the mistake of saying that, okay, well, Android's open source, iOS isn't, right? Well, here's the thing, just to kind of give you a brief little history. Apple, like iOS itself, stems from FreeBSD. FreeBSD was originally developed at UC Berkeley, and it was designed, and the first iteration of BSD was adopted by AT&T way back in the day. AT&T bought the licensing to it, so on and so forth. So basically, what the students at UC Berkeley did was that they went ahead and they created an open source version of it.
So basically, all you have to do is start writing code. That's what you're telling me?
Yeah, I basically just have to come up with a framework and go from there.
Now I know you work and all of that,
Yeah,
and so you got your own agenda. You got dogs, the whole 9 yards.
yeah.
Um, how much time can you really devote to something like this?
Well, I mean, like, I don't go nowhere. Like, if I'm not teaching, or basically if I'm not getting called into the office, I'm at the crib.
The reason I ask is
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious about how fast we can get it out. How fast
Okay.
can we get out an app that literally we can get out to, you know, starting hundreds, thousands, and eventually, man, I wanted to
Well, what
touch
I can
millions, bro.
well, what I can do is I can start designing a framework, and then basically we, and then like you said, like Brother Soul said, we can connect either on a different messaging platform or basically like on a group call or whatever, and I can basically start breaking down, and I can like kind of show you the framework, explain what it does, and so on and so forth, and then basically continue from there. And then basically once I get a actual working model of it or whatever, I can
Mhm.
kind of demonstrate it and then basically explain and kind of show you what it's doing. And then from there, if there's any kind of other functionality y'all want me to try to add in there, I can do that.
Excellent, excellent. Now, if let's say a Fortune 500 company were to approach you and say, "I want you to create an app for us," what would you charge you?
A Fortune 500 company, now see that would depend because a what type of functionality are we talking? Are we talking cross-platform? Are we talking end-to-end encryption? What type of cipher are we talking? Like there's a bunch of different variables that go into it. No, and then number two, are you wanting me to build this strictly for you, or are you just wanting to license it?
Let's say they want it built exclusively for them, for their company, and their users, right? Their employees. It's going to be a company-wide app. It's not even going to be extended to the customers.
Okay, if we're talking strictly employee, and then okay, company wide, so on and so forth. At that point, I would ask them, okay, are we talking strictly buy me out, or am I getting some kind of options? Now, if they're talking strictly buy me out, depending on if it's a company that I believe in or a company that I've done business with before, something like that, eh, 15, 20 grand.
Okay. The reason I ask, bro, is because I'm the type
Hmm.
of person, I really don't expect nobody to do shit for free,
Yeah,
right? I don't expect that, people can take time out of their daily lives where they're trying to earn a living,
yeah.
right? To do shit that doesn't, kind of have some type of return to it.
Hmm.
So we'll sit back and we'll talk about basically how to finance this project,
Hmm.
right? Um, and again, uh, I'm not really worried about what our problems have been traditionally as a people, right?
It's solutions going forward.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So if people have trust issues, this is not for them. If people got whatever issues, listen, I'm not even dealing with that. I'm dealing with the lives of these babies. I'm
Yeah.
dealing with the lives of these fucking babies. I'm
Hmm.
not gonna have people just walking up, blowing kids' brains out, and that's my future. You fuck. No, I'm not doing that. You
Absolutely.
understand? Like I got too many nieces, nephews, all like it's just too much going on right now.
Yeah.
So
Let me offer some more solutions, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
please, please. Now, is
Anytime
this
we
along the
see,
same lines as the app, or is this something
no, no,
else?
no, no. We talk about practical solutions that we can use in everyday life. Okay.
Give me 1 second.
Uh,
Give me 1 second, because I go ahead, go ahead. I'm listening. I'm just gonna write something. I'm
okay.
just gonna write something down.
Brothers and sisters, if you see what there needs to be some type of uh, excessive force, that anything like that with any type of law enforcement, unjust shooting, anything like that. Uh, Instead of pulling out cameras and just why y'all do that? Y'all, if cameras go be out, we need to lock in on badge numbers. All the
Absolutely.
officers there on site. That
Badge
way,
numbers and plate numbers.
Badge
absolutely.
numbers
That
and names. I want names.
well, here's the problem. So my only issue with the names is and we saying in a heated situation, you're not getting names. If
I'll
we
put it
talk
this
about
way.
an ex,
If you can take a picture of that badge, you can take a picture of that name,
okay, okay, I'm not disagreeing with that.
right?
If
We
we
want
able to get
names because
absolutely,
badge numbers may be a little bit harder to trace. You put a name with that badge number, it's like a fucking social security ID.
absolutely. So, well, one thing we
I'm sorry,
will
go ahead,
know
bro.
is the the local police station or sheriff station that they'll be working for. We have access. If we get in badge numbers and like the brother's saying names, what we can do is go and directly be able to jump on these people's social medias. See,
Mm-hmm.
far too often what happens is when anytime there's these perceived racial executions or anything, what they do is they hold back information based upon these officers to go and then scrub their social medias.
Oh
So
yeah, for
now they
sure.
can absolve them of any quote unquote lining it up with a hate crime, a racial crime. So that's a solution right there. We have to be able to identify these people on the
Now,
spot.
absolutely. Now, brother Soul, that is a that is a actually that's a pretty dope idea. And to add to that, there's something in the security field we call OSINT, open source intelligence, right? And essentially what that is it's me pretty
Sharing
much
information.
no open source intelligence is me scrubbing the internet to find out anything and everything I want to about you and how to get to you. How to get to you,
Absolutely.
how to find you, and basically how to hang you if that's what I want to do. Okay, so for example, right? Most people, okay, like when
Let's talk
when
about
most
that a little bit
people,
later, bro.
huh?
Let's talk about that a little bit later.
Hey, no, for sure, no, but I'm saying, but just to kind of explain it real quick.
Hold
When
on.
most people,
That's what I don't want you to do.
no, I'm
No,
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 just
no, bro. Hear me. On
oh,
this public forum,
oh,
we'll talk about that
understood. I
later.
got you, I got you, I got you.
We'll talk
Right,
about
right,
that later.
for sure.
We'll talk about
But
that later.
but to but to go back
But there's
to what
something
you,
called open source intelligence,
yeah,
and we can use that as a method,
absolutely. You know what I'm saying,
as
and that's the
one of
thing.
our
Like
tools.
everybody uses it. The
Okay,
military
give me a
uses it.
second.
Law enforcement uses it.
Let
All
me
that.
take you to that. Give me 1 second.
Yeah,
I'm jotting all this down, y'all. So bear with me.
absolutely.
I got it going on the whiteboard. All right, go ahead.
Okay, but no, what I'm saying is like so that is a tool that the military uses, law enforcement uses. It's anybody can use it. I mean,
Okay,
there's
great.
various different search engines, programs, so on and so forth.
So it's
But
essentially public information.
absolutely, and
Okay.
that's the thing. That's like a lot of the information is public, but it's just a matter of do you know how to find it?
Right,
Right.
right, right.
Accessing that information.
Right
So
now,
again, we'll talk more about methods and all and
right? No,
techniques and
I
all that
get that,
later.
but
You know what I mean?
but my point. But the reason why I
It's
brought
just
that up is to what Brother Soul was saying. Like, so for example, he said, like, okay, because when he said, like, when these officers get popped, the cops will withhold the information to give these officers and people a chance to scrub their social medias and so on and so forth, right? On top of doing what we have already spoke about doing, I would say to have I would say to essentially a team of people that have been taught and kind of trained as how to do this, that in the event that something pops, immediately they can get on a computer and do what they do. You know
Right. Yeah. Those are.
what I'm saying? That's the
Yeah.
first thing. Second thing, when earlier when Brother Soul made a comment about brothers and sisters who practice and exercise like their 2A rights, right? If there's also brothers and sisters who are trained, and what I mean by is trained as far as hand-to-hand combat,
mhm.
you know what I'm saying? Be willing to, as they say, each one teach one. You know what I'm saying? Be willing to school your brother and sister, kind of show them that God forbid if they get approached or something pops off, give them enough knowledge so that they can get out of the situation and they can get home.
Absolutely.
Makes
The
sense.
problem with that becomes is
Makes sense.
the need or people feeling a responsibility of that. We've become too lackadaisical in spirit, and because have sucked on white mama and daddy's titties so long, we've completely acquiesced. So what it's essentially come down to is we have to just build a tribe of like-minded people,
Well,
and
I'm
hopefully,
sorry. Go
go
ahead,
ahead,
bro.
brother. Go
No,
ahead,
no,
brother.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead.
I just want to say this, right? Because, bro, I've been in some dark places, right? Um, for example, um, in Comstock in the year 1990, some I'm sorry, was it 1990? I believe it was 1990 in Comstock Prison. Uh, I believe some 50 something Black American males, for lack of a better terminology, renounced their U.S. citizenship, right? And they all did so under a single petition. And the petition basically was such that it disputed the status of citizenship under the 13th Amendment, which declares that slavery was abolished except for those having been duly convicted of a crime. So
13th
these
Amendment.
gentlemen, being incarcerated at the time, understood that with the wording of the 13th Amendment, they were still effectively slaves even after they were released, right?
Yep.
Even after they had so-called done their time and, paid their dues. So
Right.
even then, right, I didn't hear groups of Black folks sitting around talking about murdering white folks. Bro, in all the shit that we've endured, in all the places that I've been, in all the darkness that I've seen, I have never heard Black folks have a conversation about just wiping out white folks. In fact, most Black folks, as you said, is not even concerned with that on their day-to-day. Like that's not even, they just getting along. They just doing what we do, man. And that's part of my problem. Because I'm not here to advocate that you start wiping folks out. But I am saying that somebody is sitting around advocating that you get wiped out.
Absolutely.
And they are taking action, right? They
Absolutely.
have a formed or a formal military infrastructure for this type of activity. Newsflash, formal military infrastructure. So if I seem a little, passionate about it, I am. You understand?
Absolutely.
I have a very serious get along, go along type process, right? Like I don't overly concern myself with the other side. I feel if I'm paying too much attention to what the other side is doing, then I'm slacking in what I'm supposed to be doing for me. And so in terms of the inequalities and the social imbalances and all of that stuff that has existed for the past couple of 100 years here, I've never been an advocate of, hey, make them do this or make them do that. Right? Like I'm not really interested in, again, sitting at the same table. It's great if it can be done without, a bunch of shit in the air. But right now, anytime that we sit down at the table with them, there's that elephant in the room.
Well,
In developing
that's
this
it.
system,
Sorry,
I'm
bro.
sorry.
Go ahead.
In developing this system, I'm asking for brothers to be committed. I'm saying, like, don't we can't just have this conversation tonight
And then
because
not
I
do
don't
nothing about it.
know, right? I don't know of a whole lot of places where they are discussing actual systems and solutions. I've been on the infinite, I think we all watched the Sonetta and the this and the that and all the flat earth and round earth and whether you Israelite, whether you Kemetic or whether you Muslim, you Moorish, bro.
Right.
We got a lot of that going on. We need a bridge.
Yeah.
No.
No
We need a
indoctrination is going to be your salvation. Your
Right.
salvation is going to be your work. So You know what I was just
Bridge
alluding to.
to connect us, and the emergency of the moment, I believe, is enough of a bridge. I believe that if we can really bring home the fact that this thing is like, it has taken on a proportion where, like, if I don't know if y'all caught that video on YouTube where they had this dude on the sheriff's department, the county sheriff, literally saying, the race war is coming and he's going to be right now front.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So now, these are the conversations that are taking place.
Yeah.
They're expecting the race war. And there's a funny thing about quantum mechanics. Where you cast your vision, there you tend to find things. There you tend to find the particle or wave you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is that you have enough of them on different levels of the society, right? Even the politicians are not distancing themselves, right? Donald Trump is running for re-election for president, and he just had one of the heads of these peoples at his Mar-a-Lago or whatever the hell that is, resort, and he's entertaining these people one-on-one. He's launching from Waco, Texas. If you thought they were bold before,
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Capital, right? This is what we're talking about now. So this is the message that we need to really push home to our people, regardless to where they may be.
And
the church, whether they in the Hebrew Israelites, whether they in the Kemetic temple, whether they in the Masons, whether they in, I don't care, whether they in the Moorish Science temple, wherever they at, bro.
no, and what you're saying is 100% valid, and there's absolute truth in that. The problem, though, exists in the fact that a lot of our people are so conditioned to the fact that unless it's directly barking at them on their doorstep,
Absolutely, that's where I was
they don't
going.
pay attention to it and they don't get involved. The problem with that is that if you wait until it's sitting until it's on your doorstep, beating on your door, it's too damn late.
Absolutely,
because they own you.
Well, this is my thing, bro. We need to literally turn up the volume.
Absolutely.
We need to turn up the volume on this shit. We need to put it in people's faces to where they can't ignore it. You understand? Because it's definitely, and I'm gonna take that responsibility on myself, right? I have a YouTube platform, I got a couple other social media platforms. I'm gonna take a certain responsibility on myself to make sure that this watch begins, right? Like I'm not gonna do a whole lot of sleeping at night. You understand? When I finish doing what I got to do for these dogs and all this other shit that I'm dealing with, I'm on their ass, bro. I'm on their ass.
mm-hmm.
Names, incidents, dates, histories, connections. Because what I'm saying to y'all is that the chick Rachel Maddow, she tied it all together. Various incidents from different places around the country. Right? Some affecting blacks, some affecting Jews, some affecting others. But at the end of the day, it's all being tied back to the same network. We have a fucking enemy, and he is now showing his face. He's making his move. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, there ain't no time to equivocate on why we got a problem. We have a problem. The doorstep shit is real. When you talk about Buffalo, I can spit on Buffalo from here.
Right. So I mean, it all starts at home. We have to
come from Buffalo. He didn't come from this area.
Nah.
They sent him. He was sent, man.
He was on a bus.
This is my problem, bro. And I'm not saying we can stop them before it happens, but we can damn sure have a solution for it.
And that's the thing, like, with everything that's going on and all the division and all the nonsense and all the noise and all the confusion that they're trying to create, at the end of the day, man, what it comes down to is simply, it's like sometimes you don't necessarily need to know who you fighting or why you fighting, but you have to know, but you have to be ready to fight when it comes to you. Because if you not, and you not ready to protect what's yours and die for what you believe in, then pardon my language, but what the fuck you doing?
Now let me jump in here for a minute because we have a piece to the brother Cordy Mack. He says he's from Buffalo, and Cordy Mack, if you can hear me, I would like you to tell us about that. So I'm gonna put the link to this chat or to the panel in the chat, and I want you to grab this link, brother, if you can, and feel free to hop on
Yeah,
and give
brother,
us
I'm
some
gonna go ahead and
details
hop off.
about
Y'all
it.
brothers go ahead and cook. I'm in the chat.
All right. I mean, we got at least 4 spaces. So, but yeah, I want to hear exactly. I want to hear some more of the details about that incident, if you would, Cordy. I know, and I apologize. I'm asking you to discuss something that could be extremely sensitive to you. I don't know if you had people that was involved or you know what I mean that was affected, but we trying to get at some solutions about that kind of shit, bro. So if you can fill us in and give us some details, I'd appreciate your presence here this evening. But I'm sorry, go ahead, bro. You were saying. All right, yo, we got brother Cordy Mack in the building. Uh you can unmute yourself, bro, and go ahead and
You can hear me?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Peace and blessings, beloved.
How
Welcome,
you
welcome.
doing? How you doing? Yeah, I hopped in. I only heard the Buffalo part. What was going on? I didn't really catch everything. I just got in the room.
So there was a shooting incident in Buffalo. I believe I want to say 2022. You familiar with that? I believe a dude walked into a Walmart and started shooting black people.
Oh yeah, that dude, white dude, went in the tops. Did some crazy shit.
Right.
Mhm.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that, man? Like
That shit right there fucked the city up. And like, honestly, I think that was some government type shit.
wow.
I ain't gonna lie, cause he went in the hood in Buffalo. Like, that's the grimiest tops in there.
So he actually targeted a store that was literally in a black neighborhood.
Yeah, that shit on the block over there. That's the hood.
What were they saying? I mean, I heard he got convicted. He got 11 life sentences. Do anybody know where he's at? Where'd he go? Erie County Jail?
See, that's the weird part. I don't know. Like, that's why I feel like it was something. His ass might be protected somewhere.
Y'all hear that shit?
That nigga might have been one of them.
Real shit, yo. Now, let me ask you. And you didn't have anybody that was caught up in that, did you?
Nah, I'm glad. I'm sorry for the
Blessings,
life
blessings.
sentence, but
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And you know, condolences to anybody that did, man, or anybody you know that may have had people caught up in that. What were the police saying after the fact? Like, did they ever give any type of explanation to the families or any of that?
no. All they did was let them put flowers in front of tops and shit for a good month or two.
For a month or two.
Yeah, they probably still got the flowers and shit in front of them, but that was really about it. Police down there, them niggas grimy. They don't give a fuck, especially if it's black people.
So basically what we've been talking about, bro, is dude was connected to some people down in Texas. Dude that did that, right? And I'm in Binghamton, New York. So I'm not that far from you. You understand?
Oh
My
yeah, you
concern
right
is
there, right there.
yeah, exactly. My concern is that if they sending motherfuckers from down there up here with that kind of shit, then that means like motherfuckers need to really we need to take a second look at how we do what we do, right? We need to be better prepared for that. What has been the community's response to that since that thing happened, man? What are people in the hood doing about it? What is the community doing?
Honestly, it just blowed over. Like it was some regular shit. They ain't talking about it no more like that.
And it was something like 5 or 6 people that actually got killed.
It was like 10 plus.
Oh my god, yo! And that shit just blew over.
Yeah, they ain't really. And you know, as rappers down here, shit like Benny and them niggas, they ain't do nothing either.
I was about to ask you about Benny. Like, did he have anything to say? Like,
He made a song about it. That was about it. Like that ain't shit though. Like it's sad though. Niggas got a voice and don't use it.
let me ask you a question, right? If motherfuckers created an app, right, that literally detailed or that kept watch on motherfuckers like that did that shit in Buffalo, you know what I mean? Like, literally, the app is watching all the motherfuckers, the organizations they connected to, the whole shit. How you think people in your hood would respond to that? Like, would they get that app? Would they have? Is that something that would be on their phone?
Uh, I'm not sure. People too strung out on drugs and worry about their own self. Like black people really don't give a fuck.
Bro, there gotta be some black people in Buffalo, man, that's concerned about what the fuck is going on in the community and how you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, we ain't got no Jesse Jackson up here. And the sad part is we got a black mayor.
looks like you might have to be that guy, bro.
And
Let me
I'm
ask you
on,
a question.
I'm
How old
I'm
are you?
I'm a young nigga. I'm only 24 talking like this too.
I mean, you gotta understand when that dude walked in that store, he didn't have no age limit, right? He wasn't there to say, like, yo, well, I'm just gonna take the Christians or the Muslims or the old or the young. He just did what the fuck he did, right? It didn't matter. My point is, you old enough, bro. You old enough. Um, I'll personally extend my help or offer my assistance, but we need to get people in your area organized, bro. Not just in your area, but in my area. We need to start building a network so that when this type of shit happens, we as a people, we have a system in place that can respond to it appropriately. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a fact.
It's no, we don't even have the luxury anymore of being able to say, oh man, that's just them doing that shit again. Nah. At the point that they starting to do mass shootings, bro. Like that's some shit like everybody need to get their shit together. You know what I mean? Let me ask you a question. At 24 years old, you have any I don't know if you mind talking about this, but do you have a record?
Yeah, I got a little record.
So that prevents you from basically getting a permit and license to carry?
Hell yeah.
No shame in it. A lot of us do, bro. A lot of us do. Um, I ain't from Buffalo, but I spent enough time in Attica to feel like I'm from Buffalo. You know what I mean?
That shit the same shit.
We need to connect some dots. That's all I'm gonna say right now, man, because I don't want to get into too much. But there's a serious issue, bro. What bothers me even more is that I didn't know about the nature of that shooting until recently. You know what I mean? Like, you hear about a mass shooting and it's fucking America. Like, that shit is damn near every day now, right? But when you start talking about the shooter went in there with the intention of killing black folks, now you got my motherfucking attention. I have a problem with it. Actual fact. It's not just that, like, I was living in Connecticut when they went and shot up the school kids. Like, that's just sick fucking shit. And not for nothing, we live in a society, right? A lot of times, there's an old saying, you'll know the tree by the fruit it bears, right? And when you say you know the tree by the fruit it bears, that means the people that are coming from this society and perpetuating these acts in the society and on the society, they're from this society. They're from this culture. This culture produced that mindset. This culture produced that psychosis. You understand? So when it turns on itself, to me, that's their business. It's sick. I hate to see it, but that's their business. But when that psychosis turns on me and mine, you just made it my business. So I'm gonna say this, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it at all. If you on some white supremacist shit, if you on some redneck cracker shit, stay the fuck from around me, and I'm coming for you. If I find out that you involved in any way, shape, or form with people that are affiliated with these groups and these right-wing death squads and all of that, let's just say I'm going to use whatever legal means at my disposal to destroy you, to destroy you, everybody you associated with, and everything you believe in, right? Oh, Cordy, did they ever explain to the community, man, who this dude was, where he came from, and why he did what he did?
That shit was damn near like premeditated. Like, he was writing letters and shit or whatever, like a couple weeks before that. And he like 2 hours away from Buffalo, like a weird ass town from here. He not even from Buffalo. So he just drove out to Buffalo.
I thought he was from Texas.
Nah, he was like 2 hours away from here. Yeah, he ain't from Texas.
So that means his kind is up here. All right. That's good to know. So dude belongs to a group that believes that white people are in danger of being wiped out. He belongs to a group that believes that everywhere, basically, that they look, people of color are taking over, right? So blacks and Jews are the biggest offenders to these white, you know what I mean? These basically Nazis, you know what I mean? Neo-Nazi type motherfuckers. I'm not concerned with what they actually believe. What I need you to do is kind of put your people on. Everybody ain't gonna listen, we know that. But pull the people that you can and put them on, right? And then we're gonna begin to build a network, because you have to understand that these people are literally taking their kids out into the woods and teaching them how to use these firearms at age 7, age 8, age 9. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's not a game, and we so worried about who's the best rapper. You know what I mean? We still worried about, getting to the bag and all that. Like we got some bigger issues, bro. Would you do that for me, Cody? Would you talk to your peoples, man? Those that you feel like a listen and you know what I mean? Let's see what we could do. Put some stuff together, man. Especially talk to the sisters, right? Because a lot of them are not, they don't have the legal barriers that we have, right? And so they need to be able to go ahead and put things in place that are going to help us protect those kids. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
So, before we get off this live, you know what I mean? Just hang out for a little bit, and when I kill a live stream, we'll chat a little bit, exchange some information, and start connecting the dots up in this part of the country here. Let me see something here. Okay, this dude. Okay, peace, Bill Norris. Peace and blessings. He said Gendran shot a total of 13 people, including 11 black people and 2 white people. Authorities said all the victims killed were black.
He did not shoot no white people.
The serial killer shot black people dead and 2 white people. But you saying he didn't kill no white people?
Yeah, he ain't killing no white people. I don't know what he talking about.
Oh, he's saying that according to the authorities said that 2 white people were killed, but he's saying all the victims killed were black.
Yeah, it was all black people. There's literally like a picture, a collage picture of all the black people that got killed. If people seen that.
Wait a minute, say that again then?
Like there's like a collage picture, like a memorial type of picture for all of them, but it was all black people.
Fucking crazy.
It should be floating around still.
Bill Norris says the only way to stop a sicko mass killer is to carry. Be very practiced. Huh? I would have to say, Bill Norris, you make a very strong point. You make a very strong point, sir. Asiatic Soldier said the good brother Attorney Awesome is doing excellent work with our people. I've never heard of Attorney Awesome. Anybody else ever heard of him? I mean, tell me more. What kind of work is he doing? But the thing that bothers me, I guess, even more, bro, than the fact that this shit happened to begin with, is the fact that you say, man, that people kind of just glossed over that thing, man. Like they just, in one breath, is like, yeah, fuck the city up, but then the next breath is like, ain't nobody do shit about it. That's strange, bro. That's strange. That's just. Shit, was they even alive to begin with? Like, how can you not be affected by some shit like that?
And another red flag too, like you see how like some of these dudes be going shooting up schools and shit like that, and the police be killing them. Why that nigga didn't kill him? They literally walked the nigga out that shit, took his firearm, all type of shit. Some shit like that, you killing motherfucker for doing some shit like that.
Wow. Now check this shit out. Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. My brother Trent, Pump 17, said, what it do? The clan plan on marching here next month. We'll see how that works out for them. Wow. Tell us where you at, Pump. Tell the people where you at right now. I'm glad you brought that up, bro, because that's exactly what we looking for. Yeah, where you at, bro? I know I know, but I want you to tell the people, man, because this is going to be one of our first little projects. We're going to be monitoring that march. We're going to be taking the names of the leaders of that march, any organizations, anybody that shows up.
Yeah,
Right.
I grew up just south of Milwaukee.
Huh?
I grew up just south of Milwaukee. I grew up in Racine.
Well, see, the clan is marching in Milwaukee next month. So
good luck for them.
Well, at the end of the day, you see, this is my point, bro. The same way they sent that dude, or the dude went to a motherfucking joint that he knew black folks was at. These motherfuckers is not just going to Milwaukee just because they picked a spot on the map. You understand? They believe that they may have some type of foothold in Milwaukee for some reason. And that's why they rally in there. Right? So that's what I want to find out.
Well,
who are they connected to in Milwaukee?
The reason why I say,
connected to?
Well, here's the thing. One of the reasons why I say good luck for them is this. There are various organizations in the city of Milwaukee that don't take too kindly to that particular nonsense. You feel me?
Okay.
And when I tell you they have both the manpower and the machinery to crush it, that's not even being facetious. That's a dead ass serious fact.
Well, then let's get them online, bro.
Let's
connect those dots, bro.
So, for example, okay, so obviously, if you know, what I'm saying Pump 17, you know, I ain't gonna go into the detail, like, because this is a public forum. You know what I'm saying? But the Midwest is a black and white, is all black and white. Michigan, Ohio, Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa, all that is all black and white. Anybody who's ever been on two wheels knows what that means. You know what I'm saying? So on top of that, and it's just for them to try to do that march in that area, especially in the climate that we have now with all the issues that we having, that's gonna turn real ugly real fast.
Well, this is my thing. We're not trying to stop nobody from expressing their right to march and all of that.
Understood. Kind of, yeah, I get that.
Right? They can march, they can rally the fuck out of them, but we want to know who the fuck they are.
We want
to know every motherfucker that if possible, we want to know everybody that shows up in a goddamn white sheet that day.
Right? I want to see what's underneath that mask.
Pump, is it possible for you to do that, bro? Can you film them motherfuckers, man? Can you get some footage and see if we can trace down who the leaders of that particular chapter or organization is?
If I know the chapter, I can find
it, bro. This is my thing. From now on, just give me that information, and I'm gonna start broadcasting this shit. I'm gonna make sure that it's on the channel. So anybody, anywhere you are, where you hear about any of this activity, send me that info.
If anybody can give me the name of the chapter,
email address,
I can find out who they are.
Bro, that we want all of that.
I can find it.
We want all of that. We're gonna put it in the app. We're gonna circulate this motherfucking app as far as we gotta take it. Because this shit right here, I mean, I'm just tired of it, bro. I'm tired of it. I'm like you just really overstepped your fucking bounds with this fucking that sick mass shooting shit. That shit is you. Y'all do that shit to each other. You know what I mean? Like I hate the fact that you that fucking sick to begin with, but you're a product of a sick society, and so I'm not surprised, right? But now you've crossed the line.
Now, brother Ray.
We don't fuck with y'all like that. We don't bother y'all like that. You
So leave us
understand?
alone. Yeah.
Pretty much do our fucking business. We get along in this goddamn country, just trying to make our day in and day out, man. I saw one of the most beautiful fucking sights I ever saw in my life today. And it was just some fucking little black kids outside jump roping. I don't remember the last time I saw a group of kids with a fucking jump rope. Do you understand what I'm saying, bro? There's some shit, man, that I would like to see continue and live on. And I'm not going to really be comfortable with the fact that a motherfucker think he has the right to walk and put a gun to the... Nah, we're not doing that shit.
Now, brother Ray, let's go down south for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Let's go down south for a minute.
We plan on crushing it by any means necessary.
You know what I'm saying? Let's look at South Carolina. Dylan Roof walked into a church, sat and prayed with him, got up, walked out, came back in, sprayed him. But to add insult to injury, not only was he apprehended without incident, they took that motherfucker to Burger King to get something to eat before they took him to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, make it a grocery store, make it a gas station, make it anything where the suspect was black. We dead on sight.
So now this is my thing. It'd be nice to know his first name, last name, where he was sentenced, and where he is now. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the mystery.
We want to keep track of these people, man. We want to keep track of these people.
That's the mystery right there. That's why I be thinking like that could have been some government shit. Like, where the fuck is this nigga at?
I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna research it my damn self. Now that we have a name for him, I know how the Department of Corrections works.
Yep.
You understand? I know how
you got a first name and last name, you can find them.
Huh? I know how DOC works. Or I should say, what is it? It's DOS now. Some shit. Since I done been too many places, y'all forget me on that shit. Oh man.
But but brother Ray, what you said and kind of what you've been saying throughout this entire this entire live, and what you said during various sessions that all that you and I have had, it's very telling, it's very obvious, and it's very, very true to form. And that is, if we as a people don't make a stand now and start trying to inform and educate our people and really let them know we not finna let y'all fuck with us like that no more. If we don't make a stand now, we will get run the fuck over.
You see, this is my thing. We're not battling all white folks.
No, not at all.
So this is my thing. It's only a select group of them
Absolutely.
that's doing this kind of shit, right? So we don't need all black folks to get on board. We need a select few that's gonna step to their motherfucking business. Period. Now, the question is just how heavily invested all motherfuckers in a certain way of life, right?
Right.
Me, myself, all I'm gonna say is I've never been at home here.
Right.
Never. From a child, I don't ever remember going and going out and being out and about amongst these people, man, and feeling comfortable saying, yo, I feel like I'm at home here.
Yep.
It is crazy to be a stranger in the land of your birth.
You ain't told no lie.
That being one thing, you can sojourn, you can deal with it, you can get by. I'm living proof. But now you encroach certain boundaries which speak to the well-being of a people going forward collectively. And I'm especially concerned that you have white media, right? For lack of a better term, like NBC, CNN, and they're taking note of these things. They're putting the pieces together. They're showing you that there's literally an infrastructure involving politics, law enforcement, and these people, these groups. So the systemic racism that has existed in this country, the undercurrent thereof, we've been dealing with that for so long that that's not even a discussion anymore. At least not as far as I'm concerned. What we have now is a very real need, to connect with one another and start putting a stop to some of this shit. There's a very real need to start holding people accountable for their actions. There's a very real need to find out, identify, track, and keep tabs on people that are involved in this kind of shit. So I'm not gonna drag this live out much longer. I do want to serve that notice that literally I'm gonna be starting to keep the Heat Media channel. It's going to be a watch on white supremacy. Especially those groups that are particularly active, that are showing up and showing out. Pump, if you can, get me some footage on that rally and all that other stuff, and I'm going to try to do my own little research and find out who's who and what's what. You know what I mean, in terms of who's involved with all that. But Dev,
Yes, sir.
with this app, bro,
Okay.
if we had to really put a time schedule on it, right?
Okay.
How long would it take to push something like this out?
To get it fully working, if I would, okay, so if I didn't have a job and that's all I was doing.
No, let's take into account the fact that you have a job, that you have
Okay.
dogs, you got a whole life.
Okay. Realistically, to get a framework, to get a solid framework, I'd say 3 weeks to a month. To get a fully working program, to get it, have it functional, to be able to give you like a demo, month and a half, 2 months.
Okay.
To get it production ready, where with its very minimal bugs and it's actually able to be used, 4.5, 5 months tops.
So let's start working on our demo version, whatever we got to do, bro.
All right.
And not for nothing. Again, I don't expect you to do nothing for free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is your profession, this is your trade, your skill.
Mhm.
And the fact that you know what I mean, you're making a contribution to the family. I'm hoping that somehow we can work in some type of financial reward for you, even if it's if we do something on a monthly subscription basis for something like 99 cents a month, and you get your revenue that way. You understand what I'm saying?
For sure.
And it's something, man, that I'm personally gonna try to push very, very hard, bro.
All
I
right.
don't know
I'll
if you
get to
have
working on it.
but I have a little way of marketing shit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I can reach a few heads if I really want to, if I really put my mind to it. So yeah, bro. Yeah, that's what we want to do, man. That's what we want to do.
All right.
And I don't know. We'll come up with a name for it, or whatever the case may be. But uh, I don't know. Watch on white supremacy or something. I don't know. Something. We'll think of something. We'll think of
All right.
something, man.
I'll get to
Now,
work on it.
anything else that you want to share in terms of what's on your mind and how you see all of this?
Honestly, it's like, I look at it like this, right? So, for example, right, I'm a vet, proud. I serve my country. I have no issues with it, right? Do I believe that, like you said, do I believe that all white people or all people in general are evil? Absolutely not. Do I believe that we definitely have some people in all levels of the government and in society who do not necessarily like us, may not necessarily approve of us, do not want to see us succeed, and want to see us beneath them? 100%. That's a fact. Do I believe that there is a group of people that exist that want to, that would like to see us eradicated? Absolutely. Um, but but on that same thought, I also believe if if there was enough push for it, and if if enough presence was made to be known, that there would be people who would listen, that there would be people who would stand up, and there would be people who would be willing, like you said, to basically get down with the get down. You know, it's you know,
I mean, at the
yeah.
end of the day, a person that would walk into a church, right, or a group
Hmm.
that would send somebody to walk into a church and do something like that, they're gonna send that same person into a mosque. They're gonna send that same person into a synagogue. You understand?
Absolutely.
Um, so as much of the fact that this really hits home, um, I would not stop short of sort of connecting with other people that may be similarly affected,
Yeah.
other groups. You understand?
Hmm.
Um, I'm going to start my little paper trail tonight. I'm going to start digging out some stuff, man, and see what we can just kind of put out there. I find that if you put a face to some of this shit,
Hmm.
it makes it a little bit more real, a little bit more tangible to people. You understand? And hopefully it'll kind of get their antennas up and get them paying a little bit more attention.
Right. Like I said, I will. Well, tonight I will look at a couple different programs that I already use, and basically look at their framework, see how they're designed, see how they pull from different news sources, and so on and so forth. And I'll get to working on putting something together.
All right. And we're gonna close out on this note here. Bill Norris says President Grant destroyed the Civil War Klan during Reconstruction with federal troops and black local militia. Black local militia.
And then he said, "What is left of the Klan comes directly from progressive Woodrow Wilson."
We're gonna end on that note. Black local militia.
Hmm.
All right.
Yes, sir.
This is what we need to do, y'all. There's no equivocating about this anymore. Right? We need to start getting connected, networking with one another to protect our children, protect our families. We ain't bothering nobody. We just trying to get along. We didn't ask to come in this motherfucker, but we here now. We done gave a whole lot to this motherfucker, and we'd like to just keep getting our little piece of the pie. Leave us the fuck alone, or get swallowed by the black hole. Good night, y'all.
Yes, sir.